Hi there. For our Wednesday devotion, we're going to go to the Chronicler, the Chronicles of the Old Testament, the summary of that wonderful story of the children of God, the Israelites. And today we're in 1 Chronicles, chapters 11, 12, 13, and 14. And I want to just give a highlight of each of the chapters to kind of help you as you read through. Really quite a long reading for today if you're interested in doing that. Chapter 11 introduces us to David capturing, King David now, he's anointed king, shepherd king, capturing Jerusalem and gathering together his, they call them mighty men, gathering together from all the tribes, men that will serve in his leadership. He's a great organizer, he's a great leader. And they produce a victory over the Philistines, these mighty men. And they're called mighty men, by the way, because they're committed to the God of Israel. They're committed to King David, in terms of loyalty. Chapter 12, you might actually head up and title it, How God Helped David Attain His Royal Power. And it's a story of how so many more mighty men came over by defecting from Saul, the previous king, defecting from his leadership, and they all came over to come under David's leadership. How God helped David attain his authority, his rule, right? Now, as he gains power, as he gains authority, he wonders, where is that ark? The Ark of the Covenant, remember? That the children of God took with them wherever they went through the wilderness, through their wanderings until they came into the nation and conquered it under Joshua. So many stories about the ark. It had the rod of Moses in it. It had the Ten Commandments. It had some manna. It represented God's presence, and it was kept in the Holy of Holies, in the tabernacle, in the tent that was the place of assembly, of meeting together. And of course, eventually when they build a temple in Jerusalem, it'll be in the Holy of Holies there. The Ark, you remember that, has nothing to do with Indiana Jones. Has a lot to do with the God of the universe. It's a big deal, this Ark. Luther said, where can I find God? He's an ocean and I'm a tiny cup. Well, we find God in that place where he promises to physically be with us. For us Christians today, it is in his word and his sacraments, right? But for them, it was there at the tabernacle and in the ark of the covenant of their God. Well, they start to transport the ark, heading toward Jerusalem. And you'll read a very interesting chapter 13, very interesting story about how one of the men who was transporting it thought it was all depending upon him. And he reached out and touched the ark, which you're not supposed to do. Usa, don't touch the ark. And then as a result, it ended up staying in the house of Obed-Edom for some time before it eventually got to Jerusalem. So an interesting story in chapter 13 about the ark. I hope you enjoy reading that. And then chapter 14, David settles in then with all of his mighty men, with the ark discovered. It's not in Jerusalem yet, but it's at least discovered. And it tells in chapter 14 of wives and kids. The list of children that were born to him, yes, by several wives. We never liked that polygamous action, even of God's faithful leaders. But God allows it, I guess, for whatever reason, and he never blesses it. As a matter of fact, it turns out kind of miserable for David, as you will read along the line. But now the Philistines, his arch enemies, try to come up against him again. It's an interesting story in chapter 14. Up to this point, the Philistines could kind of do what they wanted to do with Israel. But now this little pet dog has turned into a lion under great King David. And David absolutely crushes the Philistines. And as a result, word of David and Israel and their God spreads far and wide. You're going to have 4 wonderful chapters to enjoy today, and I hope that you understand how all of them point to Jesus. Jesus is our shepherd king, right? From the line of David, but David's Lord. the New Testament says, and our Lord. And he has promised to be with us in his holy church and in the covenant of his people. And he's going to be with you today, no matter what's going on in your life. And I wish you the very best. Have a wonderful day.